Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Jase Brown. I'm one of the ASFX coaches for the Austin Silver Investment Group. And so today I have Jack on this interview. Jack, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Jack. I'm from Ireland. I've been trading with ASFX, I would say, the past 3 months. I first got introduced into ASFX with Jase, and I think it was a recruitment video, a seminar that Austin done live, that it really sparked my interest in ASFX, and I joined because I was looking to, I've been trading for about 3 years, since I was about 15, but it was all stocks and it was long-term trading, and I was looking to, especially with the uncertainty and everything with COVID-19, I was looking to really kind of recession-proof my trading, because obviously Forex, it's hedged, so I was really looking for something to really shorten my learning curve when I got into Forex. So I checked out Jase and Lindsay and Austin's Instagrams, and I really liked what they were doing. So I decided to join ASFX, and I never really looked back since then.
So was that basically the first time where you got into Forex trading?
Yeah, that was the very start. I'd never traded Forex live, or even I think I might have placed a few demos on MT4, but I never really I never even done any day trading with stocks. It was all longer term swing trading. So that again was another whole process I had to get used to and acclimatize to.
Didn't really have any practice with candlesticks, indicators, or anything like that?
No, not indicators. Candlesticks, yeah, because all the trading I was doing with stocks, it was all price action trading, pure price action trading. So I knew all about identifying long-term trends and reading price action and support, resistance, all that. But I didn't have any knowledge whatsoever about any indicators like the RSI, the TDI as a whole, EMAs, anything like that, really.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. So, you got into, ASFX for about 3 months ago, 4 months ago. Is that correct?
I think it was May the 30th. I think that was the day I joined.
Awesome. So a couple months since you joined ASFX.
Yeah.
And so how has your journey been so far with ASFX?
Well, you see, with me, it was kind of challenging at the very start when I joined, because I decided to start trading demo, to acclimatize myself to obviously the system and to day trading as a whole and to Forex trading as a whole. But I was getting very impatient for my first 3 or 4 weeks, because obviously I was trading demo. I was after going from trading live, obviously stock trading live,
that makes sense,
and to trading demo. So that was a bit of a challenge, and obviously I was learning the systems, so it was very intense, trying to figure everything out, because I'm a real believer in looking for perfection in everything you do and improving as much as you can every day. So I was getting a little bit stressed out and stuff, but after 3 or 4 weeks, especially from keeping up with everything, the group chat and everything, and watching other people trade that were using the systems as well, it just started eventually to just click after about 3 or 4 weeks, and everything kind of fell into place. And I would say maybe week 5 I started trading live, and I think I took 2 trades my first week, and they were both profitable, and then I think I took a loss, but after that I never really went into drawdown with the system. The system's been really solid for me. I've taken 2 losses, I think, now since I started trading live in a 2-month period. So the system's really been serving me well.
That is awesome. Just you've been trading Forex for since May, and you're already profitable. That is fucking insane. For for a lot of people, it takes up to, a couple of years, maybe up to 11 months, something like that. So, this is a prime example, guys, that having, basically someone who has no experience in trading at all and just basically putting the proper work into it and not having any bad habits. Because, whenever I first joined ASFX, I had bad habits. I had all these, basically like strategies in my head, and I looked at the market a certain way, and I was more of a swing trader. But Jack, he came in literally like crispy clean, and he literally came in and learned the systems the proper way with risk management, and he was able to become profitable literally month one since trading the live account, correct?
Yeah, month one, yeah.
How would you look at our systems and look at other people's strategies that they trade? What would you say about our systems that are it's much different?
The precise entries, I definitely think I know that's what most people that trade the system say is one of the distinguishing factors with trading the system. It's the entries are so precise, as in they tell you exactly when to enter. It's not like they tell you it's not like your system with some strategies where they tell you the general direction to trade, but they don't give you a precise entry through the system. So that's kind of left to yourself to kind of like figure out yourself, which obviously for a beginner that's very hard to do. So I found it very helpful that, like, especially when I was still demo trading, like my first 3 or 4 weeks trading the system, I really I was very like strict with what I was doing. I obviously had checklists that laid out everything in the systems, and I was very, very strict with what trades I was putting on, what trades I wasn't putting on, because obviously I didn't have the experience at that stage with the systems to kind of lean on experience and make it easier. So like when you don't have that, obviously you just need to 100% stick with your checklists, your rules that your system gives you. But then again, that comes back to the fact that a lot of systems, they don't actually give you them precise rules. So that's impossible to do,
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, what would you say to, I guess, like, the new ASFX people that are coming in? Like, what would you tell them that, what are the 5 steps to becoming, a profitable trader right away with ASFX? Like, what did you do that was so different from a lot of people, especially in the beginning?
Well, I think I was very focused with doing markups every day, which is something that I think is obviously crucial. And like every single day I would post for like my first few weeks anyway, I would post my markups in the Facebook group and ask for feedback and ask for criticism. Yeah. And I'd be extremely active in the chat, in the ASFX VIP chat, because I think the number one way that helped me the most is by offering feedback to other traders and then getting in debates with them and maybe even disagreeing with them on some stuff, and that I think helped me more than anything else. Which, like, obviously some traders they're a bit intimidated to get into group chats with like 300, 400, 500 people and offer their opinions, which is very understandable. Like, but I genuinely think that that's what helped me the most, learning with the system. Definitely.
Yeah, exactly. You even though you're uncomfortable and you're not used to that, just putting yourself out there, making sure that you want to be accountable for your actions, it's key. It's 100% key. And that's why I think personally that not only does our system have an edge, but literally the ASFX group has an edge entirely, because we have a group that's making sure that everyone is accountable for each other's actions. And not only that is, like you were saying again, with your markups, that is the most crucial thing in the world with ASFX. Yeah. Like some people just say, they don't need markups, they're a good trader. But honestly, whenever I started doing markups consistently, I just saw literally insane results with my trading. I knew how to execute. I had the confidence in it, and it literally, 10x my trading for sure, especially with the ASFX systems. So I just say, like, the markups are literally the most crucial thing whenever you're trading the systems. It's definitely, it's 100% important. And so how has like doing markups consistently helped you out personally?
I think the number one thing is with confidence with the system. Confidence in actually pulling the trigger on trades, because when I started trading demo, when I started trading the system demo, obviously I was after coming from trading stocks long term, where like you wouldn't really be looking actively at a trade from one end of the day to the other. You might check it maybe once a day after you're putting it on. Whereas with and obviously like it doesn't matter really if you place a trade say 5 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning, an hour doesn't really make much of a difference. Whereas when you're day trading, like with ASFX, like it makes a huge difference. So you need to be able to pull the trigger right at that precise moment when you get your entry signal. So obviously that becomes a lot more important, being able to pull the trigger. So I think that by doing markups consistently, it really helped me. It really helped me pull the trigger, be able to pull the trigger very quickly and not hesitate at all, and not have doubt as well. Because if you have doubt, like that's compounded then when you do pull the trigger, and that can lead to a whole host of other problems, like getting out of trades early, or moving your stop loss, or
You're having a lot of confidence in the system itself, right?
Yeah.
What would you say is the most important thing whenever it comes into profitable trading?
Profitable trading, being consistent with pulling the trigger over time on setups again and again, even if you go into drawdown. Like I've came across a few examples over the past few weeks and months of certain traders taking a loss when they've done everything right and the trade was good, and then being afraid to get into profitable setups again, and being afraid to pull the trigger again, which obviously impacts their bottom line a lot, and makes it a lot harder to be profitable in the end. And another thing that is massive is not taking large losses, keeping your losses small, practicing very strict risk management, only risking a small amount of your account, a very small amount of your account, and especially only risking money at all on trades that are highly probable. Like other trades, you can have trade ideas and they can just be markups, but only risking money on trades that are actually worth the money.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Yeah, for sure. Just basically sticking to the most high probable setups and doing consistently, waking up every single day and sticking to the routine and sticking to the consistency to it. Do you meditate before you trade?
Yeah, I do. And I have a whole morning routine that I do religiously before every trading session. Ever since I read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Amazing book.
Yeah, it's a brilliant book. Ever since I read that, I kind of changed the whole way I look at not just trading, but anything that presents a challenge at all, that you have difficulties with, and developing a system to just get 1% better at that every day, Exactly. So I definitely think that you should have a strict morning routine, a strict recap routine. Like I recap all my trades, and like the day. I have a whole system that I do when the trading day is done, and then I do a weekly review and a monthly review, and I'll be starting a quarterly review. And I definitely think that's something that all traders should really be doing, because it helps critique their performance, and it really helps improve you, because I think the number one thing for improving traders is them looking back at their previous trades through like journals or my FX book or anything like that, any tools they can utilize, and looking back and look at their mistakes and making sure that they don't repeat them in the future.
That makes complete sense. And talking about with the routine, I think it's one of the most important things when it comes into trading, because if you want to do this consistently every single day, you have to have a routine that's balanced with your life. You can't just have a routine that just basically stresses you out every single day, and you can't do it. It's something that's not consistent every single day, that you can't do it consistently. So I think having a routine that basically evens your life out, it's balanced, it's something that you could do every single day, is really important, because in a matter of, trading, you can make money after you get one good trade or whatever, but it's about the consistency of doing it every single day. It's what's going to, keep you profitable long term.
I think that was something that it was a very, very, very big challenge for me coming into, because someone that's completely new to trading would obviously have no expectations, so they wouldn't really, like, they'd be kind of led by what other traders in the group and stuff are doing as far as times go, as in like your sessions and stuff. Whereas with me, I was coming into it from swing trading, where I only need to look at the charts like once every day, maybe twice a day. So I was coming into it. I think the first month when I was demo trading, I was on the charts for like 12 hours a day, which is just not sustainable at all. Like like I get up at 7 a.m. and I wouldn't really get off the charts till 8 p.m. and then I'd be looking at daily recaps and stuff after that. So literally the whole day from dawn to dusk would be spent looking at charts, which is obviously not sustainable at all. So after like the first month, I properly sat down and created a good schedule for my trading times. Like I trade from 7 o'clock in the morning GMT to 2 p.m. GMT, and then after that I'm off the charts. Like I might do some other stuff like trade journaling or reading educational trading books and stuff. But as for actively trading, I'm off the charts. I'm not trading after that.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's literally like putting so much work into it. That's exactly what is needed to be done to become a profitable trader. There's a lot of work into it that people don't know. I think
100%.
Whenever we're here in ASFX, our traders here in ASFX, I think what makes it so different is because the other person placing the opposite button in the other side of the world, trading the same pair or whatever, do they honestly put as much work as we do with the markups, with the trade journaling, with, backtesting the system on the weekends? Usually, this is my opinion, but they don't work hard like we do, because to be honest, only 9% of, people in the markets are profitable. And, the reason why they're profitable is because not of some simple strategy that they found on Instagram with these Instagram gurus or whatever. It's because they put in the proper work with their system, or whatever kind of strategy they trade, and they're consistent with it every single day. So I think that's why here in ASFX, that's part of our trading edge, where we have our system, we have the markups, we have our community itself. Literally, so there's so much aspects in our community and our system itself that has trading edges that we are at an advantage against the other person placing the same button, placing the opposite button in the other side of the world. My other question is, so how did you get started with investing into stocks when you were 15?
Well, I obviously had the same experience as a lot of people when they were like 12 or 13, where like your parents go and like they might buy a share of Apple, and you're like, oh, I own a piece of Apple or whatever, you know what I mean? That type of thing. So I was kind of like, stocks and stuff were kind of romanticized for me at the start, but I was always kind of intrigued by them. But then as I kind of grew older, when I was getting into like my mid-teens, I kind of started being a lot more pragmatic about it, and I started doing some research online, and I saw that like there's people that are obviously making money without having to do that, without having to be on the charts that long, if they're swing trading, and without having to be on the charts at all if they're just long-term investing. So obviously that's something that really appealed to me, even from that age. And I searched high and low throughout the internet for information, but I didn't really have an actual mentor. I was kind of piecing pieces of information together from, say, stock twits or like Investopedia, stuff like that, So I was kind of going blindless for about my first year and a half, going blind. And And it was only kind of after that that I kind of really started getting focused. When I was, I'd say I was just turned 16, and I started finally understanding like the concepts behind trend trading and like actual trading using charts without looking at fundamentals and stuff. So I just think that, though, like at that age, it is very hard to, it's very, very, very hard to comprehend like absolutely everything that you need to know. And especially because trading on a whole is, in my opinion, and in a lot of traders' opinion, 80% psychology. And when you're that young, your psychology, you can work on it as much as you want, but just from a biological standpoint, your psychology just is not there.
Yeah, exactly.
You're still developing as a person, you know. Like, I think that you need to have a certain level of maturity, and some people obviously mature a lot quicker than others. And I think when you don't have that level of maturity, and this is for any age of a trader, like they need to, and this is not just about stocks now, but it's my firm opinion that people need to really analyze their emotions and how mature they are and how much they're able to deal with stress and stuff. And they need to build that into their trading edge, their trading systems. They need to they need to really pay attention to their psychological strengths and weaknesses, and they need to try and compensate for the weaknesses in their systems so that they're not actually relying on their brains, you know?
That is totally fucking right. Like, for me, I think one of the biggest struggles trading at a young age, 15 years old, is the psychology. 100% it was the psychology, because again, my brain was not fully developed. You know, it's just scientific facts that, you know, teenagers, preteens or whatever are not fully developed in their brains. So there's probably going to be issues with that all around. So for me, it was extremely hard to find a consistency whenever, you know, I was an emotional trader and, you know, having all these things. But, you know, eventually, you know, I don't know if I fucking matured or something like that, but you know, eventually I became self-aware of my emotions much more. And, you know, I tried to basically not destroy my emotions, but basically push back my emotions whenever I was, you know, tempted to, you know, react and, you know, like overtrade or something like that in the charts, you know. So for me, it was in the level, I don't know if it was a level of maturity, because I think around 16 and a half years old, I was beginning to be self-aware of, like, you know, my emotions and stuff like that. So I don't know if I became mature, or, you know, it's just basically I realized about self-awareness. But I think you come with a great point with, you know, 15, 16-year-olds. It's a really big struggle in trying to find, you know, that psychology, because it's just, you know, we're not fully developed, and it really fucks us both up. So you know, just kind of having a system or a strategy that kind of fits into that doesn't, you know, rely on too much psychology. So maybe kind of like a swing trading system, so you don't have to, like, you know, be stressed about, you know, a day trade, you know, going up or down. You know, for a swing trading system, you don't really have to look at it. You know, you just place a trade, and, you know, you could let it do whatever it wants. So you know, that's something that I 100% agree with, and it's a point that, you know, I bet a lot of people right now, like, coming in, like a lot of new traders might struggle with, because that's especially our age, because, you know, like, psychology, like, fucked me up for 100%. It really was the biggest struggle for me in trading. And now, like, not really, you know, but, you know, in the past for sure it was. So I'm glad that you put that point out, because it's just something that, you know, like a lot of people struggle with.
Yeah, and as well, like, I do think most traders have a tendency in the beginning to not take psychology as serious as they should, because it's obviously, it's intangible, it's not material. You can't quantify your psychology like you can your actual trading edge. The way you can back test your trading edge with a system, like on the charts, and see if it's working, see if it's profitable, but you can't back test your psychology, you know. So it's very hard to quantify it, and it's very hard to improve it, because there's no kind of progress bar that you can kind of measure to, like there is with your trading, which is obviously your P&L, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And, like, how did you deal with the psychology issues, with the emotions as a young trader?
Well, I think the number one thing was this book that I read, Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas.
Amazing book.
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. I think it's definitely it's my best. It's my favorite trading book of all time. But I think it definitely helped me so much with psychology because it addresses all the issues. It was published, I think it's over 20 years ago now. It was published, but it's still just as relevant as it was back then because the psychology just doesn't change. But as well, like active trade journaling and stuff, and understanding how your emotions affected your trades when you're actually in trades and addressing it afterwards. I think that really helps because if you're, say, just for example, if you're in a trade and you end up moving your stop loss and you get emotional and end up moving your stop loss and it stops you out anyway and you end up taking a bigger loss than you would have, then the next time you're in that same situation, you're going to be thinking to yourself, I shouldn't move that stop. But that's only true if you're journaling and are aware of your mistakes and of your
100%
of the things that you're not doing right, you know.
Exactly. Have you read Trading in the Matrix?
No.
Oh my God, I want you to read that. That is literally like, I thought Trading in the Zone was a good book, but Trading in the Matrix, literally, like, it opened my eyes. Like, it's Gwendolyn's favorite book as well. Do you know Gwendolyn, like the ASFX coach? It's an amazing book. Like, I fucking love it. Like, I'm rereading it like 3 times already because there's so much information in there that it just opens your eyes up with like systematic trading, with psychology, with looking at the markets in a different perspective, instead of like thinking like it's an amazing book. I'm just gonna let it like for you to read it. It's a fucking
I
amazing
definitely
book.
read it. Yeah.
It's Trading in the Matrix by Van Tharp. Fucking love Van Tharp. Like Van Tharp, you know, he runs an amazing kind of like education seminars and stuff like that. So yeah, 100%. If you know, whenever you have time, read that book because it's fucking amazing. How have I personally helped you out in your trading with ASFX and with the systems and stuff like that? Because if you guys don't know, I actually, you know, I helped Jack get into ASFX. He reached out to me saying, you know, asking some questions about, you know, with the systems itself, and I answered him, and he was really interested in to joining ASFX. So I kind of helped him out, you know, to join with ASFX with the course bundle and stuff like that. So how have I personally helped you out just with ASFX?
Well, the first thing I have to do is give your YouTube streams a plug because they've definitely really helped me out, because obviously watching someone trade live it's a lot different and a lot more like comparable to what you're actually doing than just watching replays of videos and stuff. So that definitely helped me a lot. But as well, any questions I had, being able to just text you about them or send a voice message and get them answered helped a lot. And as well, especially because I think my trading style leans towards the same as what yours is, as in with locking your stops very quickly, and like obviously you don't mind taking a few small losses as long as you don't take big losses. So I think that definitely helped me, because most of the mentors that I've looked at before, as in before I came to ASFX, they were kind of the opposite of that. They didn't really do that. And obviously that suited my personality more, so that helped me a lot. And as well, whenever we got on calls, it definitely helped a lot, because you just addressed any concerns I had, or any problems, or because obviously everybody's different, everybody learns different, so everybody's going to struggle with different things. So if you're just watching a course and you don't have someone to go back to and mentor you, then you're not getting all the help you need, in my opinion.
Exactly, 100%. So what would you say to, you know, everyone watching this at the current moment who are, you know, 16, 17, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds who are interested into jumping into trading?
I would say go for it, and don't be put off by the statistics about 95% of people aren't profitable, blah blah, any of that. But I would say take it slow, demo first, especially if you're starting off, especially if you're brand new to trading and you haven't traded any other system before, then definitely demo trade. And then obviously build yourself up with a live account. But the number one thing I would say is get a mentor, get a trading course, learn a system, because if you don't do that, and especially if you don't do that and go live, you're just losing money, you're just throwing money away, because unless you have a quantifiable edge, there's no real way to trade, in my opinion. And yeah, some people will say that you can figure out your own edge, you can do all that yourself, and you can, but that's not really realistic, because it takes years of experience and years of back testing and everything to be able to do that successfully yourself, and without any help, which most people just don't have that time. And most people, even if they did have that time, they'd be after losing the will to trade by the time they got through that process. Like,
basically, guys, if you are interested in trading, if you are interested in, joining ASFX, hit me up, hit Jack up or whatever. And this is just basically just giving you guys an insight of an 18-year-old trader who became profitable with his live account in 1 month, just putting the proper work, trading a proper system, and just, basically just putting a lot of work into it. Because again, like, how hard did you work throughout the last couple of months?
Oh yeah, it's been crazy. When lockdown started, I was obviously finished school, so I knew I had like a 5 month gap before, like, I'll be going to university like next month, so I knew I had like a 5 month gap that I was able to just fully dedicate to trading. So I just went crazy, like, basically with working towards it.
Yeah, appreciate you, Jack, for coming on. Awesome.
Yeah, no problem.
You've been trading phenomenally the last couple of months, and I'm really excited to see what you do the next couple of months that you trade with us consistently. It's gonna be amazing. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.